Are you tired of making the same old campfire dinner meals? Today, I am sharing 20 totally delicious campfire dinner ideas. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can get all of these recipes and more. Number 1 is Campfire Chili. Did I ever tell you that I have a ton of chili recipes? This one is my brother-in-law's secret recipe, and he finally made it at the campsite and allowed me to share it. He actually made it at a rally, an RV rally we went to. And he won the chili contest with this recipe. It's fantastic. This was a really good consolation prize because earlier that day, he and I were partners in the cornhole tournament and we lost, but he won the chili contest, so that's even better. I have a video on how we lost the cornhole contest, and it was a really sad day. I was happy for the winners, but it really was a bummer to be the losers. Anyway, you've got to try his chili recipe. It's an awesome thing to cook over a campfire. Number 2 is Thai chicken. This is an awesome recipe because it's one of my make-ahead freezer meals. What's your favorite make-ahead camping meal? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. You prep all of these ingredients at home, mix everything together, and then throw it in your freezer. Make sure you lay it flat so that it freezes in a nice square bag. Then you just thaw it, dump, and cook at the campsite. That makes this meal so easy, so delicious, it's ready in just minutes. Number 3 is Dutch oven roast beef. If your family likes meat and potatoes, you are gonna absolutely love this recipe. Subscribe to my channel for more tips. The nice thing about this is it's got roasted tomatoes, chili peppers, a nice seasoning blend. It is something that is on the verge of Mexican-ish flavors. Add some potatoes, serve it on the side with some vegetables or a salad. It's a wonderful meal, especially when you're camping in cooler weather. Number 4 is Diablo Sandwiches. If you've ever seen the Smokey and the Bandit movie, you might remember that there was a famous sandwich. It is called the Diablo sandwich. A lot of people have tried to remake what they thought was this recipe in this movie, and I have come up with a family favorite. It's sort of a Tex-Mex sandwich. It's got some heat to it, but it isn't over the top, so normal people can enjoy it. You can also easily cook this on a propane camp stove during fire restrictions. Check out my video. I'll leave a link below. Number 5 is shrimp and asparagus foil packs. Foil packs are a great thing to make when you want to do campfire cooking because you build everything right there in the foil pack, you cook it in the foil pack, and then you can eat right out of the pack, so you don't have a lot of dishes to do for cooking or for eating. It's a great thing when you want a super simple cleanup right after the meal is done. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Number 6 is one-pot pasta. I like making recipes where I am using pre-cooked meats when I want an easier cooking experience at the campsite. I do a lot of cooking of chicken breast at home, and then I cube it or slice it and freeze it so that it's ready for a quick meal at the campsite. This is a one-pot meal, which means you actually cook the pasta right in the dish. Number 7 is Campfire Stew. Who doesn't love a really delicious stew? This one starts with a little bit of bacon, and then you add some beef. The thing that makes this really delicious is that you let this simmer for quite a long time. The beef gets fork tender and the flavors marry. It is a fantastic meal if you are cooking and serving in cooler weather. Number 8 is beef stroganoff. This is typically a little harder to do when you're cooking the traditional stroganoff recipe at home, but I've made this really simple for the campsite. Everything is done in one pot. The beef and the pasta are combined together. The creaminess is all because of the sour cream that you add to this dish. I've got instructions to make this one super simple, and it works out perfect every single time. Number 9 is pesto steak pasta. You're gonna brown a little beef and then add some aromatics to the pot. Remove the meat. Get all of these recipes. I'll leave a link in the description below. Add some beef broth and pasta in the pot, let that simmer, add the meat back in, and then we're gonna toss everything together add some toppings like a little bit of fresh cheese, and your meal is done. Number 10 is Trinidad chicken stew. You actually think that you might be eating beef by the time this thing is finished because the glaze and the sauce turns this white breast chicken meat into something that looks really dark. It's because the flavors are so developed. The canned coconut milk adds a ton of flavor. Grab a copy of my free meal planner and watch my video to see how to use it. I'll leave links in the description below. Number 11 is Cowboy Stew. If you want to eat like a cowboy, this is the meal that you want to try. What's your favorite cowboy recipe? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. We have a couple different types of meat in here. You're going to add a little bit of flour to make a nice thick gravy. Toss it all together. Add some canned vegetables like corn, green beans, pinto beans, diced tomatoes. The great thing about this is there's so many canned ingredients that it makes it super easy to just dump and cook. Add some fresh cubed potatoes, let it simmer, and you've got a delicious meal all served in one pot, very hearty and very filling. The cowboys just love this one. Number 12 is Dutch oven chili mac. Dutch oven chili mac is a total family favorite. It's a combination of a really good chili recipe and macaroni. It's kind of like a pasta, but it's kind of like a chili. No matter what, it's all thrown together in one pot, cooked over a campfire, and you've got a really delicious meal, nice, warm, toasty. It's a perfect meal when you have a cool weather trip. I have a ton of Dutch oven recipes for breakfast, dinner, and dessert. I'll leave a link in the description below. Heat a little Texas toast over your campfire, or maybe a little bit of garlic bread, and you've got a fantastic meal. I always like topping with cheddar cheese. Number 13 is chopped suey. This is a really delicious meal that takes a little extra effort because it's filled with fresh veggies. Make sure you have enough time to prep the fresh vegetables at the campsite, or you can also prep all the vegetables at home so that you can just dump and cook and combine them at the campsite. You can either buy the veggies already prepped. If you get the veggies that are pre-done, this meal is really fast and simple. I have lots of tips for keeping veggies fresh at the campsite. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know if you have any questions. Number 14 is Dutch oven steak. We don't always have steak at the campsite, but when we do, it's kind of a special occasion. This meal is a one-pot meal where I'm actually cooking the potatoes right in the Dutch oven over the campfire, and then I combine that with aromatics, a little bit of butter, and then the steak. These baby potatoes make this meal almost elegant. The red and the white potatoes add a nice touch. Number 15 is Dutch oven beef sandwiches. You can't get any easier than this recipe. You basically take a beef roast, use some peppercini peppers and the brine that they come in, simmer the meat with the peppers, and then shred the meat, put it on a bun, and there you have a really flavor-packed sandwich. Leftovers are wonderful if you want to roll them up in a tortilla and serve them with some Mexican flavored toppings. Number 16 is chicken and potatoes. I like doing meals where I have the protein and some kind of a starch like potatoes or rice along with the meat cooked in one pot together. In addition to potatoes, I'm adding some carrots, simmering everything all together. What's your favorite chicken recipe? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. This is a little bit thicker than a stew, so you don't really have a gravy with this recipe. Number 17 is curry chicken. If you like curry, you're going to absolutely love this recipe. It's not as difficult as it might seem because I'm adding a jarred curry sauce and some coconut milk. Simmer the potatoes and the carrots and the meat all together in the sauce, and then serve over rice. Number 18 is Dutch oven gumbo. Who doesn't love gumbo? This is one of my more complicated recipes. It has several different types of meat and lots of different vegetables. The chicken is something that you put in the pot, let it cook, take it out, shred it, because I'm using a boned chicken because it adds more flavor. Then you're going to add a little bit of flour to some broth, make a roux, and thicken the sauce. Number 19 is Campfire Goulash. We love this recipe. One thing that I like to do is use meats that have some kind of flavor already in them, like Italian sausage. Get all these recipes. I'll leave a link in the description below. The tomatoes and beans add a lot of flavor, texture, and fiber to this meal. Add the macaroni, cook it in the liquid, so everything is done in one pot and dinner is served. Number 20 is Dutch oven pork chops and rice. I love making pork chops this way. I use a pork chop with a bone in. It adds more flavor. I'm going to brown those pork chops and then I'm going to take them back out of the pot. Then I'm going to add some liquids with some rice, put it all together, add the meat back in and some vegetables. Let everything simmer until the rice is cooked, the vegetables are tender, the pork chops will be cooked through, and nice and moist. If you ever feel like eating and not cooking, don't worry, you don't have to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Check out my no-cook camping food video. I'll leave a link in the description below.